Okay, yeah. Let's go for it. Hello, I'm Ruth Mollison from Island Seeds, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own herbarium. I'm going to take a cutting of a little daisy to press and add to my herbarium. So when you take a cutting for a herbarium, you need to have flower or seed as well as the leaf. This little daisy, which is called Vittidinia gracilis, has both. It's got the seed and the flower. Perfect. And a bud. So I'll get a little bit more. That's probably not quite enough. When you take plant materials for cutting, it's going to go on an A4 page, so just imagine how much space it will take up. I'll be writing a label for this, and I'll be putting its name, what I think it is, where I got it, and the date. One of the reasons you do a herbarium is because you don't always know what it is. So if you take 2 samples, you can send one to the real herbarium, the Tasmanian herbarium, and they'll identify it for you. But you need to remember to keep one for yourself. So when you know the name, you can label yours, because they'll keep the one you send them. And I've made that mistake before. So we've got the little daisy here, and I'm just going to show you how I press it. So make sure you have a label that goes with it. I'm just going to write its name, Vittidinia gracilis, the place I collected it, and today's date. You can always check the spelling. This is my Bible, this book. So if you need to, you can check the spelling in the back here. And you can also check that it helps you with the identification as well. I've got the label. Now we're going to press it. You can make anything for your plant press. You don't need to buy a special press. Quite often the commercial ones are a bit small. You want one that's big enough so you can press lots of material as well for a herbarium. This is just a wee bit bulky. I'm going to reduce it down a little bit. Probably better. Don't need all that bulk. The idea is we want it to press really flat, and that way we can store it a lot easier. Plants will dry out in bunches, especially daisies, but it's not very convenient. They don't store, and after a while they crumple and get dusty. So the idea is to try and get it to go flat so we can glue it. Just old newspaper will do, and then I use blotting paper to go over the top, or you can cut up dishcloths and use them, and you can use them again and again like that. Then I'll put it on something slightly stiffer so it's easier to carry. Get more paper on top and put it in your plant press, which can be just a drawer, an old drawer or a wooden box. You do need a really heavy book. This is where you need to go to the op shop and get something good and heavy to fit on top, or books from your bookcase like that. And I keep a note on top what's underneath. It's good if you can change the paper in a couple of weeks as well. So we need to leave that for, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks, and by that time it should be dried out and pressed, and then we'll mount it. We've time travelled forward 8 weeks. Let's see if our plant's pressed. Take the book off, and you can see the little bit of cardboard's kind of handy to carry it out. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, that looks really good. It's nice and dry and brittle and flat. So it's gone from 3-dimensional to 2-dimensional. And now I'm going to put it on the pressing paper. This is slightly thicker than normal printing paper. It's like a cardboard, can buy it from most stationery places. Going to arrange it first of all so it looks nice. Sometimes you just need to tidy it up a little bit. Okay, that looks quite good. And I have to remember its label. I've got this little bit of scrap here, so I'm going to translate that into a slightly more formal label. And this is where it's probably good to check that you've got the spelling of its name right. And also, I always check which family it belongs to. Everything has a different family, and that helps you. After a while, you get a feeling for the plant's attributes and how they connect together. So this is in the daisy family. It's called the Asteraceae. So I file my plants away according to which family they're in, but everybody can do it differently to what suits you. I've just made these labels up on my printer and I cut them up, stick them on. It's got the family, the species, the common name, which I don't know, grassland daisy. Grows in native grasslands. Where I got it, so this is from Carlton. You can do the GPS, but today I'm not going to do that, and it was growing on the sand bank. Veg community, so vegetation community, where it belongs in nature, it belongs in native grasslands. And any extra notes you can put down, collected seed or anything else. It's really handy to refer to later. Then I've got notebook number if you have further notes in a notebook, and collection date. Probably the most important thing is the date. So this was collected a little while ago, this one. Okay, now I've got all of that information. Herbarium paper. And now we're going to glue the plant sample down. I use wood glue. It's really strong and it dries out clear. So you don't have to be overly fussy. It's better to have too much than not enough, because it will dry out. You can see in this one how you can't see the glue at all. There's quite a bit there, but it's dried out clear. You can just see the plant. Okay, I have to put the glue more or less in the shape of the plant. These little sugar stirrers are handy just to put it on with. Let's have a look. I think that should just about do it. Yep. Yeah, and then I've done that. I use my pebble collection for weights. So it's a good reason to collect pebbles. I'm actually a little bit over the top. I label a lot of my pebbles as well, where I got them from, but don't need to do that. So a range of small pebbles to keep it fixed to the glue, and we'll leave that overnight. Here's herbaceae or guinea flower. It's a really pretty little yellow flower. It's a ground cover, and there's 3 or 4 different species, so it takes me a while to key them out, and I find it really handy if I've pressed them and I can check to make sure I've got the right one. And here you can see that I've got the flower, because with this particular species you need to look at the number of stamens and how they're organized to get it identified correctly. So you can see the different forms. Sometimes you can get the same species but from different places because the leaf might be a bit different or something. This one I've actually got a piece of the root as well, so you can see the whole plant. And then I just store them in cardboard boxes somewhere dry. And I've got my own library of plants building up.
About how many plants do you have?
Gee, I don't know. I've got lots. I've probably got hundreds. But because they're compacted down, they don't take up too much space. So you learn how to identify them. It's really useful to have. I've been doing it ever since I started seed collecting, and it's great. I always go back to it. It's the way to learn your plants, basically.